Alright, some very cool things happening today. Number one, I finally get to build in the shoebox size Fractal Terra. Two, this build today is a surprise gift for one of my buddy's sons. And three, I'll be giving away an AMD RX 9070 from Asus to one of you because Asus and AMD are sponsoring today's video. I get asked a lot what I do with stuff after I review it, and thanks to sponsors, I get to make videos like this one. I've got a good friend whose kid really wants to get into PC gaming and content creation, and as you know, a gaming PC is a pretty expensive ask, and it's pretty tough out there right now, so we're gonna help make that happen. What I know is that he wants to play Arc Raiders, he wants to make some videos and maybe stream. He's really into small form factor, not so much into RGB. Sounds like Dad's doing a pretty good job. It's gonna be a pretty weird build because I basically looted my storage for spare parts, except for the RTX 9070, and here's what I got. Corsair SF750 power supply. This is the older gen, but because AMD cards don't use the NVIDIA 12-pin connector, this will work great. CPU is a Ryzen 7800 X3D. Cooler is the ID Cooling IS55 super low profile. Motherboard is a Gigabyte X870i Aorus Pro Ice in white. Memory is 2 sticks of Corsair Vengeance DDR5 6000 CL30 totaling 96 gigs. I think the street price on this right now is like $8,000. We also have a 4 terabyte Crucial T700 NVMe. This is PCIe 5.0, crazy fast drive. We've got room for one fan in the bottom, so it's 120mm Be Quiet Silent Wings 4, and last but not least, our RX 9070. This is an Asus Prime OC card, and that's important because the Prime cards specifically are a great 2.5 slot size to use in small form factor builds. The 9070 XT I have is a tough card, and those are huge, so the 9070 Prime is going to be our guy for this build. There's some pretty decent heat in this build. It's a good foundation too for future upgrade paths. Now we just have to see if everything fits. The Terra is a sandwich style case, which means GPU on one side and motherboard CPU cooler on the other with a spine that runs down the middle, so it's a give and take situation to score enough clearance on both sides. You adjust this with 4 screws, and based on the table in the manual, I'm going to start at position 3, but the beauty part in this case is that you can adjust this at pretty much any point in the build, and we're not locked into these specific numbers. You can finesse a little bit in between them. The motherboard assembly was close. There were a couple times I thought we were cooked, either with the heatsink or the memory clearance, but we got there. I mean, is it really a small form factor build if you don't think all hope is lost at least a couple times along the way? I did have to lose the lower fan because I was using the stock PSU cables and I needed that room. Custom length, super flexible aftermarket cables are always the move for these builds. Because this case is so open, I don't think it's going to be an issue, but we will stress test anyway just to be sure. Outside of that, it was a piece of cake build, really. Number 3 was the magic number, so shout out Fractal's manual team. Both sides fit perfect, even with the little room to spare. Posted on the first go, and here's the native rendering canned benchmarks for 1440p. By that, I mean where possible, we're not using any AI upscaling, no frame gen, also avoiding ray tracing where we can. This will probably be the last time I use this specific lineup, as some of these are getting really long in the tooth, but these are some decent numbers. Of these, only Black Myth Wukong is really putting the hurt on this machine, which it normally does. I like these, but I'm even more impressed with the 4K numbers. Again, this is using all native rendering, which we'll touch on more in a second. They're all at like one step below the highest preset. All but one. For Red Dead Redemption 2, the preset slider is broken, but only on AMD cards for some reason, so I ran this with the default settings, which is ultra textures and pretty much low to medium on everything else. I would never set my game up like this, but I about fell out of my chair when I saw the 4K and the 1440p benchmarks because the game looks insanely playable at this default config with plenty of overhead to turn up any of the stuff you want. For the majority of these, the RX 9070 is giving a solid 4K experience. Just turn the FPS counter off and enjoy. For the games that are sitting around that 60 FPS mark, that's where we can use a little boost, either with AMD's FSR upscaling and or frame gen. Traditionally, I'm a big fan of AI upscaling, more so AMD's FSR 4 versus some of their earlier revisions. I'm not generally a fan of AI frame gen, but I do recognize that comes from a place of privilege as I generally have access to some pretty insane hardware. But it's tough to deny the impact it can make to FPS. Like when we look at Wukong, look at the ridiculous boost you get. Like, yeah, you'll have some additional artifacts, but you get the ability to choose either a lower FPS highly accurate presentation, or if you can look the other way on some artifacts, you'll get an insane performance boost. I hadn't really kept up with how FSR 4 was coming along in terms of game compatibility until I started to prep for this video, and that's when I stumbled upon FSR Redstone, which I guess just debuted with the latest Black Ops 7. AMD was already using machine learning with their FSR 4 upscaling and frame gen, and Redstone adds neural radiance caching, which can help speed up path tracing and ray regeneration. This latest FSR tech is again only compatible with 9000 series cards like the one we have here today. As of this video, only Black Ops 7 is currently showcasing ray regeneration, but ML frame generation generation is available on like 46 titles, and I was very pleased to see that Arc Raiders is on that list. Now, I don't think he would ever try to play it like this, but I just want to show you how insane this is. Jumping in at 4K with everything turned to epic, we're at like 40 to 50 FPS. Doesn't look great, doesn't feel great. Just by enabling AI upscaling, we immediately jumped to between 75 and 90 frames. Feels great, looks great, and you would have to literally sit and look for things that showed any evidence that we're using AI upscaling. You can stop right here. This is a great experience. Or you can enable ML frame generation in the driver, turn it on in the game, and now we're at like 130 to 140 FPS. That's crazy. And it looks great. There's absolutely nothing here that's going to pull you out of the experience when you're playing. So yeah, what we wound up here with is a very capable rig at 1440p and 4K with the card that's small enough to fit in a small form factor build. As expected, temps were no issue. Shout out to Adrian and the team over at OC Base. So you can generally find this card for between $635 and $650. They also have a slightly smaller, slightly cheaper Evo version for even tighter spaces. I should point out though that you can get the RX 9070 XT with this same cooler design. This card originally listed for $720, but can commonly also be had for $650, and even though it uses more power, it provides a 10 to 15% performance boost over the 9070. AMD did some great work with these cards, and the fact that you can so easily slot these in small form factor builds in the Asus Prime design is a big W in my book. I swear every time I do a small form factor build, I love how it feels like my whole desk can breathe right before I haul my huge PC back on top of it. I think 2026 might finally be the year that I just get a 5090 FE and build one of these for myself. I'm extremely happy with how this build came together, and by now I've probably already heard how happy our friend is too. So Tate, I hope you love your new PC. Welcome to PC gaming, and be nice to your old man. He's a pretty cool guy. Big thanks to AMD and Asus for this one. As promised, I do have an extra RX 9070 to give away to one of you, and it's really easy. Just head over to Instagram. It's BadSeed Tech over there. Look at the pinned post and leave the comment hashtag RX 9070 under that post. And in 3 weeks, on Saturday, January 17th, I'll have a bot randomly choose one of those comments, and it'll be on the way to one of you anywhere in the world as long as I can legally ship there. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Stay up.